Hey everybody, Coach Mike here. Coach Mike is always improving, and it is Monday. What is it? The 26th of January already. And today's episode, being a Monday, is for anybody and everybody. Share it with all your friends if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, well, share it with them anyhow. Maybe they will. Now, anyhow, we just survived Snowmageddon here, and I think we're through the worst part of it. We might have some ice issues tonight, but apparently North Carolina, or at least most North Carolina, did not get it as bad as, like, I heard Tennessee got it really bad, Texas and stuff like that. We've got a good cover of snow. It's about time. We've been missing that since we've moved here almost 8 years ago. I'm a California boy, so I like some snow. We didn't want to be swamped by it, but we've hardly gotten any. We've had like 3 or 4 good snows since we moved here, and it's always a fun thing to do. Let me share with you some of the pictures over the year. Of course, the hard part for a guy like me is having to walk to work in the snow, 3 miles uphill. All right, would you believe 50 feet from the deck out to my office, to my studio here? Uh, I got this time we bought some bags of the melt stuff and never used that really before. I mean, I know what it's for and everything. Used a little bit of the front of the driveway, and they said wait till get rid of this top layer of snow, but some of it already froze a bit. But I put some out there, and this morning I see it was like down to the cement, so it was pretty cool. So next time I'll know a little bit more how to do that. But here's a few pictures of our since we've been here. Whoa, let me get back to the slideshow. There we go. And there we go. And let me show you what all we had. Since when we first moved here, our doggies had never seen snow before. And so when they got here, it was like, wow, this stuff. They weren't sure at first when we first got here, and the first snow we had was like 2 in the morning. And of course, middle of the night they get up, have to go outside, do their thing. So we let them out, and they were like, real hesitant. What is this white stuff we're stepping in here? We're not sure about this stuff, right? So this is one of the newer pictures. We got our pergola up there, as you see. But the next day, they were out frolicking in it, and they were having a blast. I mean, we had to actually pull Daisy back in because it was still snowing the one day, and she had snow on her belly and on her back. And you'd see this little black thing going through the snow like a big cockroach or something out there. So we had to actually take her out. We were worried she'd get turn into a popsicle and everything. But anyhow, that since we've moved here, uh, we've had like 3 snows since then. The first one was even weird because when we got here, we went up to Cherokee we used to go to this one casino and this one high school in California and play bingo. And bingo out there, you got these bingo halls, and you can win a lot of money. And the local bingo here, they were like $10. You win $10. What is that? No. So we drove up to check out the Cherokee Casino and the bingo thing up there, and it was like 2 hours away. And we get up there to Maggie Valley, and there's like no snow anywhere, right? It was like spring or even summer almost. And we're driving along, and I'm looking out the window of the one side, and is that a chairlift over there? And sure enough, I guess they have sort of a ski resort there. They weren't going to do much skiing at that time unless they had wheels on their skis. And sure enough, they said they had got 0 snow up there for some reason that year. And since then, we've had, again, 2 or 3. This is the best snow we've had now in a couple of years. And this is a little bit more ice than it was snow. So we'll see what happens. So what's that got to do with improving? Well, I want to know, how do you handle the climate change in your life? And I'm not talking about climate change, okay? I mean, that could be an issue. Do you handle the weather very well? I'm one of them conservative guys. I think that a lot of the climate change crazies are just that. They're just drumming up money Climate change is real. They used to call it global warming until they ran into a couple of years where it was going the other direction. So they realized that that probably wouldn't fly very well. So they switched it to climate change. And there's climate change. I'll agree with that. But what I don't agree with is man does not control it. Only the good Lord above controls it. I get up every morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will be glad and rejoice in it. And I'm going to try and have a good day every day. The weather is rainy. I like rain. I like snow. I like heat. I grew up in Arizona, okay? I never got fat until I left Arizona in 1979, got a softer job over in California, and the pounds started adding up little by little, right? Before that, I never weighed over 195. And I mean, I could eat a ton, especially high school and shortly after. I lived with my aunt and uncle through high school, and my Uncle Sandy used to get mad at me sometimes because I was not always, I'd go back for seconds and thirds. And I loved him, especially when he cooked Mexican food. Oh, he was the best cook I ever know. And, save some for everybody else. I could eat a ton and not gain a pound. I could go back seconds, thirds, not gain a pound. I wish that was still the case. Unfortunately, it's not. But anyway, I like all kinds of weather. The only kind I don't care for is two kinds for the most part. Number one, I don't like a lot of wind. A little bit of wind, a little breeze, that's cool. Especially if you're doing something like flying a kite with the kids or something like that, great. I don't like super windstorms, right? Dust storms, things like that, really get a little crazy. I also don't like a lot of snow, okay? I used to snow ski before I had my hip replacement. After I had my hip replacement, the doctor said nothing more than a bunny slope. So that takes a lot of the fun away from it, right? So I haven't been skiing now in about 20 years. I do miss it a bit. I love to snow ski. But what I don't like is freezing to death. All right, that's not fun. I got stuck when I used to deliver soda pop up on the Northern Arizona reservation at one time. And I was in Kent, Arizona, and I jackknifed on some snow or ice and caved in a fuel tank. So they had to send a mechanic 160 miles out of Flag to rig the truck up so I could keep going. And I woke up at 2 a.m. at the Holiday Inn, and I was in pain. I was in pain. I called the front desk and said, "Hey, Ollie, what's going on here?" And she says, "Our heat pump went out and it's 20 below zero." I don't think I'd ever been in below zero like that before. Like I said, I was in pain. It wasn't just cold. Then to make matters worse, when I got up the next morning, all my soda was frozen. All the cans were bloated, all the bottles shattered. We had a heater on the trailer, but the trailer had not been designed properly, and the pallets, I guess, would bounce out against the door, and so the heat wouldn't circulate. So I got to my first stop. That was a waste. And then I had to put chains on coming back. Now you think, "Oh, Coach Mike, I've put chains on my car, no big deal." Yeah, put them on a truck sometime. Each chain is like 100 pounds, and you got to do it, two sides. And then that particular time, I remember I only had to have them on for about 5 miles, I think, maybe 10, and then I had to turn around and take them off again. So that was crazy. I got back to Phoenix. Said, "Get me back to Phoenix. I'll go up and deliver on the reservation in the summer, but in the winter, bring me back down here where there's decent temperatures," right? So what do you do about change? Do you like the weather? Do you adjust with the weather, or do you crawl into the bed and don't do any work, or what do you do? What about climate change in your life? If change is inevitable, it's always going to be there. Change for change's sake, like that we can control, is not good, right? Don't just change things just to change them. I've seen and heard so many different theories and idioms and whatever paradigms on this. What was the one? Somebody wrote a book or something, said, if it's not broke, change something or break it. Yeah, if it's not broke, break it and change it that way. Yeah, I guess there's sometimes we might want to do that if we get too complacent with the way things are. But other than that, just to change something just because it's different. You hate it when somebody comes into a work situation or coaching situation, whatever, and a new coach comes in, let's say, for example, and they just want to change everything because they want their stamp on it, right? Or a new boss at work. You've seen that before, probably. I had that one time. I was coaching at a school, and I was stepping down to go watch my daughter play at another school. She was going to another high school. And a new coach came in, and I met him. The booster president introduced me to him. And after that, I never heard from him. And he went in and changed everything he could change. We had two containers. The one we shared with baseball, and that was where the cart was to drag the field and a lot of the equipment and stuff. And all the balls and everything were in this smaller container right by the field. And I guess everything he could change, he changed. Just to change it, just so it was him. He only lasted 1 year. And last I heard, he went to a different school after that. And from there, I think he's coaching in some, I guess you call it a prison now. I don't know. So, but whatever you do, you got that new boss. How do you deal with that? What do you do? Do you try to get along with him? Do you fight back? Do you go along to get along? Or is there a better way? Is there a better way? I think depending what it is, obviously we don't always like change. We like our status quo. We like to do things we're comfortable with, especially if we are worried that it's going to reflect on our results, on our accomplishments. But a lot of times what I like to try to do facing a new situation is, okay, let's take a look at what it is first. New boss coming in, he wants you to do this differently and that differently and something else differently. See if it makes sense. Maybe he's got a better idea, or he or she, maybe they got a better idea. If it doesn't look quite right, then, sit down and talk to him about it. Of course, my wife would call me right in the middle of recording. Should have told her. But yeah, don't panic. I guess that's the big thing I want to leave today. Don't panic. Even if it seems rather extreme and it seems that it doesn't make any sense, take a step back, analyze it, put yourself in the boss's shoes. But as much as possible, as much as it's within your control, see how you can make it work. See how you can make it work. I think in the long run, once you get over the initial shock, you'll be doing a lot better. And you might find that you succeed even more after that. Of course, the other alternative, maybe go look for another job. How have you handled climate change in your life, in your climate? Put it in the comments down below and let me hear from you, or email me, Coach Mike at CoachMikeNow.com. If you're not a paid subscriber, I hope you'll sign up there because I got some goodies and extra information I put out there for my paid subscribers. And for those people, I will see them tomorrow. Have a great week. God bless you, and we will see you later.